Hello and welcome to Solent Sports News. Coming up on today's programme, England are just 1 point away from securing a place at next year's World Cup. We will have the latest from Gareth Southgate. A MotoGP legend hangs up his helmet, a look back at Valentino Rossi's 2 decades on the track. And the secret behind the home form of the Solent Redhawks American football team is revealed. Southampton will be playing a familiar face on the return to the Premier League this weekend. Dean Smith, the former Aston Villa manager, has been appointed as the Norwich City manager on a 2.5-year deal. Smith's last game in charge of Villa was against Southampton last week, and he now takes charge of his new side against the Saints on Saturday. It's the back end of the international break and all of the home nations are in action. Matt Renton reports.
Aaron Ramsdale looks set to make his England debut tonight, away to San Marino. The Arsenal shot-stopper, who's been in fantastic form this season, is looking to continue that on international level and impress Gareth Southgate ahead of their trip to San Marino, looking to secure qualification for the World Cup in Qatar. However, Southgate does have some injury concerns.
With Hendo within the game, with Jack, we think a little bit perhaps within the game, but he trained yesterday, so and there's a precaution with both. We've scanned them, so you know there is small injuries on the scans. So we just hope that they're not going to miss too much football from here on.
The issue with Raheem?
Yeah, he's got a personal issue. So so the first 2 are injuries, and of course with Mason as well and Luke, we ran out of time really on getting them in with their rehab from the concussion and from the operation.
Conor Gallagher looks to be another player in line to make his England debut. The Crystal Palace midfielder on loan from Chelsea has been in superb form this season for Patrick Vieira's side, and he will also be looking to stake a claim ahead of the World Cup squad.
Very impressed with him. We've tracked Conor for quite a long time. His loan spells at Charlton, at Swansea, which obviously we knew the staff there very well. At West Brom and now at Crystal Palace. So at each loan he's done extremely well. Started the season very well with Palace, and we talked about him when we named the original squad as somebody that we were keen to keep an eye on.
Scotland have already secured a playoff spot for next year's World Cup. However, manager Steve Clarke is looking to maintain momentum heading into tonight's game.
So Monday night is a really important game for us. We also want to keep the momentum going. It's difficult to win 5 matches in a row at any level. We've done it at international level, which is particularly hard. And we want to make sure that we put on a good show on Monday night and get something from that game as well, so that we go into March in a really good frame of mind.
Wales also guaranteed a playoff spot for the World Cup in Qatar 2022 following Spain's result on Thursday night after a 1-0 win against Greece.
Be more proud of the players. I think you saw it in the team selection to start the game that we showed our intent. We knew we'd create chances. Critical of the team against Estonia when we created chances or enough chances to win 2 games, and we weren't clinical and took them. But tonight we absolutely did, and we proved that on a night like that, when we create chances with the players we've got, we'll score goals.
Northern Ireland and the Republic of Ireland both miss out on spots in Qatar next year. Neither side can make the World Cup in 2022, but they will both look to finish the group strongly ahead of the European qualification campaign. Matthew Renton, Solent Sports News.
Superstar Lewis Hamilton secures another win after a thrilling race against his Red Bull rival.
I was just talking to Toto. It's really about opportunity.
A weekend that saw him at both the bottom and top of the grid has given his title charge a lifeline. The Mercedes driver has now won 101 Grand Prix, passing Michael Schumacher's record last year. And MotoGP legend Valentino Rossi closed the curtains on an incredible career yesterday in Valencia. Jack Edwards reports.
The end of an era. After 432 starts in the sport and a total of 115 wins throughout his 26-year career, Valentino Rossi is a motorcycle icon and a sporting great. Known as the Doctor by many fans across the globe, Valentino is a 9-time world champion and finally hung up his levers after his 10th place finish in the final round of the 2021 season at Valencia. I went to catch up with former MotoGP commentator Nick Harris to talk about the legacy the joyful Italian has had and what he's done to put MotoGP where it is now.
There is no doubt nobody has put motorcycle racing, MotoGP, where it is now in the same way as Valentino Rossi. He's put it in a completely different place.
The man from Tavullia has produced some absolute unreal races throughout his career. Race victories in the Premier class in the past prove this.
Obviously Laguna Seca, the battle with Casey Stoner. Stoner was clear favourite to win the race. He was fastest in qualifying. And Rossi, putting it quite bluntly, knew if he had any chance of winning that race, he was going to have the rough Stoner up, and that's exactly what he did.
Valentino said himself in the documentary MotoGP Riding Secrets that overtaking is the funnest part of motorcycle racing.
The Lorenzo move in Barcelona, when they had a fantastical Yamaha battle, and I said, well, firstly, that's it, Lorenzo's done it, what a ride. And Rossi from nowhere got past him, and that, 140, 150 mile an hour right-hander.
Rossi was also known with using special helmet liveries, notably at the Italian Grand Prix at Mugello, as well as dressing up as many characters and providing unique celebrations that gained his popularity.
The Robin Hood one was good because it was at Donington Park, and he'd heard about Robin Hood and the Sheriff of Nottingham, what have you. There's been so many.
Valle could have been an 11-time world champion, though, as well, considering that he was extremely close in 2006 and 2015.
And dare I say, I was glad he did lose the World Championship in 2006, because it went to Nicky Hayden, who was a brilliant rider and one hell of a good bloke. I think he was a little unlucky in that season.
Not to mention that Valentino's success gained him other riders who were big rivals of his, such as the likes of Max Biaggi, Sete Gibernau, Danny Pedrosa, Casey Stoner, Jorge Lorenzo, and Marc Marquez, to name a handful.
His greatest ever rival, though, I'm going to say, was Jorge Lorenzo. It was his teammate. And I think if both were riding to their absolute best, I think it would be very, very difficult to pick out who would win the race.
So what next for a sporting icon like Valentino Rossi? The 42-year-old looks set to switch to car racing in 2022, following his retirement from the biggest motorcycling sport on the planet. Jack Edwards, Solent News.
England's Test team are set to travel with the Cricket Australia ahead of their Ashes tour. The men in yellow put in a dominant performance against the Black Caps in the T20 World Cup final, knocking off a total of 172 with a comfortable 1.1 overs left to spare. Mitchell Marsh was the star of the show, scoring an impressive 77 not out from 50 balls. The Solent Redhawks continue their grind for Division 1 football, while games continue to come up with question marks, as the Worcester Royals become the second team to reschedule their game against the Redhawks. As it stands, Solent's next fixture is at home against the Bristol Pellets on the 28th of November.
The Redhawks' home field has become a fortress as of late, recording only one loss in the past 5. While friends and family are large parts of the crowd at Test Park, the majority of those that turn up are those who are considered old boys.
An old boy to me is someone that has played for the team and shows added interest on all social media, still supporting the team, even 1 year to 5 years, 10 years on. Just showing the rookies that it's a brotherhood, it's a family.
These old boys come in a variety of flavours, starting with your local graduate, who comes down on a Sunday to support the team. The most common, but also some argue the most important, for creating the atmosphere at these games.
We've been such a tight-knit group for years, even before I started 4 or 5 years ago. So I don't think you can really compare it to something else if you haven't experienced it, but I do know that we do get a good amount of support, and it does help, especially on our home games and sometimes away games too.
David Peppers is a prime example of this. After graduating from Solent University only this summer, he has found himself a place within the Redhawks coaching staff, joining 3 other old boys already coaching on the team.
It was something that I never ruled out, and something that if I knew Coach Dan, head coach Dan here, came up to me about, I would say yes, and he did. So I said yes, and I'm here now. And it's been a good challenge because, like I said earlier, we've got 2 years worth of new players. So getting them up to speed, it's quite good to have.
While Test Park has become a fortress for the Redhawks, the frustration continues to mount, with their next game not being played for another 2 weeks once again. While it does mean that teams get back-to-back home games, the anticipation of their next outing continues to grow. Marcus Brown in Southampton for Solent Sports News.
And Marcus joins us now. Marcus, thank you for coming on. So how do you feel about a game being cancelled again inside 2 weeks?
It's frustrating because you mentally prepare yourself throughout the week. It isn't just a case of you're missing that training session. You're also getting yourself into that psyche of, I'm here to win, I'm here to hit them hard and dominate. And when you get there on the Sunday or the night before, whenever they decide to cancel, and all of it just, the energy dissipates and it's hard to gain it again.
So your next game is at home. Do you reckon there's a silver lining to these games being cancelled?
Yes, yeah, there is, 100%. You get 2 back-to-back home games, which for the Redhawks is invaluable. On the road, we're very 50-50, but at home, when we got the support from the old boys, from like friends and family, we feel unstoppable. You've got all of that noise behind you, and it pushes you to actually show off pretty much, and that's what you want to do at the end of the day.
So after Bristol, you've got a massive game against Bournemouth. Do you think that's a season-defining game?
100%. They are the pinnacle of Division 2. Without trying to make it sound too non-essential, they are our toughest opponent in that league. If we beat them, we have the best opportunity to go up to Div 1, where we believe we deserve to be. As much as Bournemouth believe they are, we believe it more. And that's what we want, to get to Div 1 football.
Thank you, Marcus. Thank you for coming on. So the Solent Kestrels men are back to winning ways with a double-header win over the weekend. Elliot Sentence was the man of the match in the first game, scoring 29 of the Kestrels' 110 points, sealing a comfortable victory over the Warriors. The South Coast side matched their point score on the Sunday, seeing off Essex Rebels to make it into the next round of the National Cup. The women's team also had a successful weekend, making it through to the next round of the Cup. Taylor Gaffney is at the home of the Solent basketball now.
Thank you, Gabe. I'm here at the sports complex, home of the Solent Kestrels. Joining me today will be forward Safi Jarju. She's a 3-year player, great competitor, and captain for the team. So, Safi, with this being your 3rd year here at Solent, how do you think this season has been going compared to your last 2 seasons?
So obviously, you've been here for 3 years. The team has definitely changed every year. So we have new players come from different areas, and I feel like this year's been my favourite year so far. Especially like as a team, we're a stronger bond. I get along with all the players, and I feel like we're all positive together as a collective. So yeah, I'm really excited to see what the next game's in.
Coming from a big doubleheader this weekend against Cola and the Worcester Wolves, you took 1 loss on Saturday and a really big cup win on Sunday. What are you guys looking forward to taking from that cup win to the next win against opponents?
So definitely Saturday was a definitely mental game. I feel that's what brought us down with the loss. And from looking at Sunday, we kind of then brought together as a team, had positive mindsets, and that's how we won the game. And I feel like we definitely deserved it, as we all held each other's head up, and we all, again, communicated as a team and be positive at the end of the day. And I feel like with that, for the next game, our mental state is the main thing for us to be able to get our wins, especially for the end of the season, and win the cup game hopefully as well.
Right. Sounds good. Thank you for that, Safi. The Kestrels are now 3-2 on the season. Feel free to follow them on YouTube and on Facebook Live. Back to you, Gabe.
So that's all for today. Catch up with all of our bulletins at Solent Sport News on YouTube and Twitter. Thank you, goodbye, and enjoy the rest of your week.